Good morning for those out off Jupiter somewhere, and good morning, good afternoon for those around Uranus, and good evening for those around, what should we say, Venus. Did that get your attention? Okay. I had no clue what to share with you until 30 seconds ago. Absolutely nothing. So we were just going to sit and enjoy being silent together. Hello, Kerry. Kerry's on. So, hello. So in a few seconds, okay, 10. This is what we're going to look at, okay? And I've written on a piece of paper, okay? Kind of, look, I'll show you. There it is. Okay? Yes, you wouldn't understand that, and nor will I. But this is what we're going to look at. Are we information? Change, flow, in all direction. Information. What happens stopping in flow? Results. Deeper knowing, aware. To cancel or to transform? Which is it? Modification. What does any of that leave you with? Okay? So I kind of just gave you it, somehow or other. And somehow we're going to touch on all these. To enable this, we must come to a little bit of an understanding. And that little bit of understanding is quite simple. Trying to understand stops everything. Opening has everything flowing, and discovery is possible. So right now, here we all are. There's people in this room. There's us here on the call. Now, what is primal for us right now? Or what is primal for you? That's the same as saying, what is primal for me? Is primal for me deeper knowing aware? Is that primal? Or is primal for me these people on this screen in this room? What is primal? Deeper knowing aware, or these people? And if we look at this, maybe we discover that we look somehow drawn to look deeper. Now, if we look at this as we go along, to look deeper, does it mean for you that we're using information on the outside, the people we're sitting with, the temperature in the room, whether the energy in the room is joyful or whether it is tumultuous. What is it for you? Or is for you, no matter what, is it for you to deepen in knowing aware? Now, when we're deepening in knowing aware, is it as though your awareness of things, objects, or others in you is dissolving? And is there more being known in the dissolve than in the belief that there are people outside? Now, I'm looking outside. There's you guys on the screen. And there's the people in this room. But what really is first? The screen or the people? The screen of black awareness in which I can discover that what I am can go deep into the black. And it's going deep into the black or the deep of awareness, knowingly going deeper. Is that how we perceive objects, people, others, situations? Do we perceive and know? Do we encounter others? Do we encounter others? Do we encounter objects? Or is that all in mind? Do we encounter anything really? If I turn my attention, seemingly, remind me to look at seemingly inside. Isn't that the same as just truly closing my eyes? And my attention is drawn into what I might in the beginning call black, or into knowing aware. How many times have I traveled? I'm going to use these arrows. How many times have I traveled from the infinite into the finite, from the finite into the infinite without even knowing, and yet it was all at the blink of an eye? And is it the blink of the eye that determines the experience of that appears to consciousness itself? So we're trained very much that there are objects out here. There are people out here. And I don't know whether you've looked at this, but have you caught your mind make-believing people are objects and you are a person, but others are objects? Have you caught your mind doing that? And yet you and I, we can just close our eyes. And although there will be impressions, maybe on the screen, when we're deepening in knowing aware, in other words, when we have the kind of brighter inquiry into the nature of ourselves, we have enough conscious experience to begin to touch upon everything outside is an appearance. And even that appearance even is not actually outside. That appearance is in mind. So when we've got that far, maybe we can discover that there truly are no others, or even objects. And that screen, just like this computer, that if I turn this off, this flickering color that appears to be you and I, there would be nothing but a bright black screen. Is that not what is here? This here, is it not pure black? And the immediacy of closing my eyes, have I gone far enough to discover the limited version of self? That I've discovered that limited version of self is not what I am. It's simply passing. Also, have I discovered that limited version of myself is appearing on the screen of awareness. And that appearance on the screen is mind. And even mind is in awareness. Have I gone this far? Do I still fall in the trap or in the experience of identification with forms of appearance, including mine, although I do not see my appearance very much, do I? I may experience my appearance as thoughts or as feelings, but not see those thoughts and feelings. I do not associate with the appearance on the screen as my experience of life. Now let's just, as it were, pull up for one moment and invite you to take a deep breath. And in the deep breath, access more depth in the breath. You only have to hear this. You don't have to try. It's very wonderful, actually, that when one hears the truth sets the mind free, or at least the consciousness free of appearance. So when you hear, we can close our eyes and take a deep breath and access greater depth. It's quite natural. And awareness knowingly can go deeper into its own awareness, or sometimes called the self. Now, I suggest to you as we practice, let's call it a practice and get it down, one will come to a line one has drawn in the sound, the sound is good, in the sand of present identification with image, with experience, and with other. Come to a place or a demarcation of greater possibility should you cross that line. Now let's have a look at this, and we're going to open our eyes, and as we open our eyes, begin to get the idea, but maybe we might discover it's not just an idea, it's a reality and not a concept. Then the moment we open our ideas, the moment we open our eyes, all the information of deeper awareness, knowing itself, appears. This is the appearance of that information. You are, I am, we are, inside, outside, the appearance of deeper information of consciousness itself. Can you stay with this? Stay with this, I suggest, by bringing your attention into the sensation of the body. In fact, become more interested in this discovery than anything that your mind can be informing you about now. So, knowingly or not, one comes to a boundary where, let's say, you practice meditation, or maybe you practice the form, or maybe you're practicing to be more deeply aware. You'll come to your own self-identity. But you tell yourself you were destined to know yourself more. And you might say to yourself, there's more to what I am than just this body-mind identity. And it might be, as awareness, you go deeper. Following? You go deeper. Then, if you do, unless the body drops away, awareness once again comes up and forward with the deeper information. And maybe that deeper information begins to appear. But if you look at this, that deeper information, I'm calling informational consciousness, that begins to appear, is not as yet integrated in what we currently call our daily life. So there's still this me that's there, that either believes it's gone deeper, but consciousness identified with that me is unwilling or unable or hasn't seen that the moment you go deeper, there's an utter change of information. And somehow that information coming up into our appearance or appearing on the screen here remains separate from you still choosing to be a someone. You have to look at this with me. It appears that I'm telling you this, so I'm asking you to have a look. So, for instance, let's have a look at what we've just written here. Often, awareness, often we will have or get into a flow. That's a pure flow. In other words, deeper light and information is the background of all appearance. And deeper light and information is the substrata of you and I having bodies. But that deeper flow and information has to come forward as our own choosing, our own choice, until it's integrated. So there can be a flow. And often what happens, we come into a flow, but we haven't yet cleared this image we have of ourselves and all the information of this image we have of ourselves. And in a blink of an eye, we're still looking through the past. The past has not yet been transformed. In other words, one has not gone back into the screen, into the deep, into the past, and transfigured the past as the present or the presence. Because when you've transfigured the past as presence inside of what you are, then that changes not only the presence, but what the mind might call future potentiality. Where I come from, future potentiality is the vertical of now. It's not in the future only as an appearance. It's in the now. And the now, if we look right now, is timeless. But the deeper we travel, the deeper awareness we move in and as, the now becomes a profound presence of being. And the information that flows from that presence of being on the screen of life is altogether different. And often when we've got into a deeper flow and a deeper presence, up comes information through our mind, often through what appears to be the outside, but the outside is simply information as not transformed or transfigured in the presence of the now. That acts both collectively and individually. So you could be with a bunch of people but you're practicing so deeply and profoundly that you're very clear that you live for and as profound, knowing, aware. So then things are no longer things as they are for most people. Things are fields of information that you're seeing flowing, moving, alive differently from where you now come from. And you have no past, and the future to you is only a vertical reality. You don't hold to a future. You have no need of it, and yet it's clear it happens in the deepening of what you are. It happens. But you're very clear that you never happened. You are that happening naturally comes from. But if you stop in the flow, if you stop in the flow because you've chosen a memory, if you stop in the flow because you've identified yourself as a born identity. That was a good movie, by the way. There was 3 of them. If you stop in the flow, you begin to doubt yourself. You begin to doubt your power, your presence, your ability. That is quite natural for what you are to quite naturally, without doing anything other than being present, to manifest the what you are. Quite naturally, it begins to appear. It's very much the same way as what psychologists speak of when they speak, if they do, I know a few, speak about the past appearing. We do not clear our past by being someone. The someone is the past. The past is simply cleared only of its information, and only presence, deeply knowingly aware, is that clears or transforms that information. So according to, as it were, where one has, we have, one was the partial word for awareness. When one has seen through what you're told is the past, but seen through how it served you in the present, you being knowing aware, that's because you're far more present, deeply knowingly aware in the black of what you are. The black of what you are moves as light in existence. Light is the carrier of its own self-illumination in an instant. The entire cosmos or creation is the instant I came into am. Light manifested as a vibrational field to us appearing. That's flow. If you stop in the flow, you will doubt yourself. You will trigger a tsunami of doubting yourself. You'll be doing, as it were, as if you were someone, a lot of work to, as it were, drink that tsunami. It's funny that, because as I said, tsunami, I wanted to do something Japanese, like, hey, to kind of, anyway, that's me. Because as we go deeper into our own self-discovery, we must begin to understand that the image of ourself we carry only as information. It's not what one is. It's a strange phenomenon for one who goes deeper, because the tendency is to see the phenomenon of apparent others, appearance only, apparent others still moving as memory, still moving indecisively in the present, because the memory holds them back, because they seemingly haven't gone into the black of themselves as yet, consciously awake, knowingly as awareness. I don't know if you're getting what I'm saying, but I'm saying it anyway. And it's a strange phenomenon, because we're actually the same one. So all that we're actually doing in some very real way is exchanging higher frequencies of information, self to self, for we are the same one. And to be honest, as it were, like seems to seek like. In other words, those that flow, those that know, knowingly aware, are sought after for those that want to flow and know, but it will cost them their self-limited linear identity. That's what it will cost. So in any moment, it truly is a question of whether in a flash, because that's what it is, I release the image of myself. That this information doesn't tell me who I am. No, this information is a flow of the unseen, flowing to manifest. In other words, to be seen. I am that brings myself forth, and I am that dissolves myself back into itself in that flash. Sometimes we can actually discover what we're holding on to as a self-identity. And through going back deeply, deeply into the deep of ourselves, we can transform the code of that identity. But the thing is, as it were, we really must believe in ourselves. We really must do that thing. Because in the deeper realms of our being, to not do what one is, in appearance, manifests as doubt, suffering, and fear, limitation. The deeper you go, and you don't give, let's call it the surface field, to permission to be filled with the unseen, filled with the unknown, you'll have a tsunami of doubts and fears and limits that you'll, if you're wise, drink and not run from. Because in all ways, you really want to discover, what am I? So as we sit together, and you can look at your hands if you want, and you can look at your body, but you can't look at your face. You can look at everything else. You can't look at your back. But to really see you, you have to be in the deep of you to see you. And as you are in the deep of you to see you, appearance begins to be you, for you, not for so-called other. You begin to stand in and as that you see and know you are, original nature. And you don't flinch, and you don't doubt it, and you don't have to live it, because you're it. But there's always more for you to dive deeper, and more for you, as it were, as agency to bring out. You don't always have to bring it out through doing something. You can actually bring it out by just sitting still. You can actually bring it out by sharing. Some, though, bring it out by sitting still, by sharing, by speaking, by demonstrating, by manifesting. So very much in a deeper way, no matter what you do, whatever you're about. Who's that funny face there? Ah, it's him. Hello. It's all right. It's the Muppet Show at Colin's house. Beautiful Muppets. I love them. So in the deeper transformation, one has to begin to really see, are you to cancel, in other words, turn away from your ability to transform yourself? Or do you go direct for transformation? In other words, things change. Because if you're going to go deeper, what supported you in appearance will no longer support you in memory. There's a lot of people, you know, that seem to have Alzheimer's. But what it is the transformation of memory. There's no need for memory as it is portrayed on this planet as you go deeper into your self-knowing aware. So is it cancel? In other words, you're not going to move past that. You're not going to action. You're going to stop in the flow, and you know you're stopping in the flow. You seem like you can't do it, but it's not that you can't do it. It's that you've developed fear just by standing still. You really want to be swept away by this flow because you know you are this flow. So is it cancel or transformation? Cancel or transformation? This is really being heightened in these times. Now, cancel or transformation. What is it really, this transformation? Is modification of primal knowing aware. The universe is a modification of the light of awareness. The table is a modification of the light of awareness. You and I are a modification of the light of our own awareness. It's a profound and yet wonderful, playful light that's dancing. And that dance is actually love. But stopping the flow from memory and love seems to be something else. So if you look then what we've been looking at, change isn't something for who you think you are. Change is the modification or transformation of the energy that is the flow of you, the information that is the flow of you. So here we are on the screen. I don't know if you only have him on the screen or others on the screen, but we're all a flow of light information. And the moment that you wake up in the morning, you're either moving in the transit of a new place and manifesting that new place the moment that you wake up. It's just quite natural. Or you begin to see that actually you're caught up, sitting in the flow of potentiality. You've got hooked on a memory of your own image of you. So then, how can we stay in the flow as our own true self. There's only one way: total surrender to the invitation of growth, of free flow, of opening. Only surrender does it. Total surrender to the unfolding of the new and the release of memory that you were ever something else, someone else other than now. Seems to be quite a tall ask from the universe. But it's our true nature to transform, transfigure, come alive as the flow of new light and information. And if we look at this, truly look at this is very, very strange. Because all this information that forms as an active participation, as universal appearance, passes away. And to give yourself to that passes away, when every breath, brand new, is the invitation. It's what transforms worlds, universes, realms, galaxies. Because most of us don't look at life like this. And most of us don't even encourage each other to look more deeply into our knowing of what is here and possible. We tend unconsciously to measure what we can or can't do, basically through memory, but not knowing what we are. We'll even have little conversations about it in satsang and afterwards, but we still won't make the shift. Because to a little mind, it seems too much to ask. But we're all divine mind. So that was just a play with this little bit of information on here. You can just modify this a little bit, or you can jump. You can move with deeper meaning, which has got nothing to do with what you have right now. Few of you took it. It was funny. I watched at least 6 of you all take a deep breath at the same time when I said that. You went, oh. It's a trick of this level of the universe to keep mirroring back to you comfort of the known. But it's the new you that excites you, that impassions you, empowers you. The old you just keeps you rusty, wrinkly, and never actually alive. What do you see about this? What do you hear? I'll give you a little. So we got here, remember this piece of paper? Change, flow, stopping in the flow, modification, cancel or transform. Where does this touch you at this moment? Are you just information? Or are you the light that's carrying all this into creation? It's real. See you in about 10 minutes. Enjoy each other from where you never left. Just take this on a little bit more before I invite you to share. Have you ever seen appearance as the veil? You know, like in a lot of religious texts, they speak of the veil. Is appearance the veil? In other words, when consciousness, when humans only live by the actions of the world, the actions of form, of appearance. You ever seen that's the veil? But when you literally, as it were, practice, this is very much in the practice of the form for those of you that have ever studied it, maybe go deeper into it, you'll see its value. That when we go to sleep at night, or we just close our eyes like right now, your ability as awareness to drop deeper is your ability to see through the veil of appearance. All the information you give yourself about your body-mind identity and what you are, what you've been told you are, and how you move as that body-mind is your own veil. So when we, like for instance here, what I'm doing, I turn my hands up and I close my eyes. And immediately my attention turns around from appearance. And the light of awareness basically goes into itself. And there is an instant deepening in sensation, but beyond sensation, the veil literally drops. We're not impressed with the impressions of our mind to remember what we should or shouldn't do, what we should or shouldn't say. It no longer interests us anymore. We have freed ourselves from this maya that we're the body mind. And being free of the maya that we're the body mind, because the maya of the body mind is very convincing. I mean, for instance, maybe where you are, but if I say here in New Zealand, for instance, traveling along where I live right now, today on a bright, warm, sunny day, is such gorgeous maya. The Pacific Ocean, the mountains. You all want to come? The sheep, the green, just the ambiance of the land. But it's still maya. But to know it's maya is to allow the veil of identity to collapse. Then creation is beautiful. The body mind is beautiful. The body is beautiful because you've not been trapped in maya. You realize that this formation, which is appearance, it's what you are that's alive, animating this appearance. The birds are you. The seagulls are you. The waves are you. The mountains are you. Everything is alive. And that aliveness is what you are as the I am, the existence. So then in this practice here, we can close our eyes and you're no longer caught up in the illusion that you're some body. The body is a beautiful informational field of cosmic divine proportions. And maybe we might discover that we are souls illuminating this creation with our soul-like discovery of what we are. And that what we are is the play of the absolute self. And one can literally say, I am that. And yet, I am this. So then when we close our eyes, there's an immediate dropping in. And as we really see through the illusion and enjoy the play of Maya without the veil of identity, then open your eyes or close your eyes. You are pure being. No veil. And that's when you begin to see that you shine as a being, and you look at others and you realize you've been attracted by their shining light of original nature that's no longer veiled. When there's no veil, the possibilities of that deeper realizing of self and the possibilities of the play of that life on earth or in this universe is extraordinary. And love begins to flow between us, as us. Possibilities begin to sing and move without a single thought. And things begin to take place where we are passing light information between each other because we are not other. Whole different way of life. Eyes closed. What seems to be black is profoundly deep and pure, and as it were, breathtaking. Eyes open, that is pouring out as the universe of our meeting, of our love, of our being together, of our creation. Not a single memory in sight. No need to remember. Perhaps until the human psyche completely transforms. I say, moved by the deeper cosmic movement of light and by our own acknowledging what we are in deep. Then there will be no need for a mind that remembers anything in the past. If you look, mind functions as remembering how to drive, remembering simple actions. It doesn't involve you. But remembering you as some past is the veil. So here we are, eyes closed, just deepening, bright, deep, deepening, eyes open, meeting, greeting, possibility, alive. One can discover that we're actually sharing divinely cosmic participation in our living room, in our apparent work. Maybe that will be called something else. Maybe work be called art. I don't know. But as we dissolve the veil, appearance is the shining light of our own eternity, beauty, wonder, rightness, prayerful and yet joyful, compassionate and yet passion, no boundary. And as you can see now, let's close our eyes. There's just endless depth, being aware. Very much as I would direct you in the practice of the form, for instance, I would simply say, don't name what's on the screen of your mind. Let go of imagination. That's the ending of the veil. So we're programmed to sustain the veil. Check that out. You program yourself to keep rebuilding the veil that obscures your light to you, light to light, light to other. The ending of obscuration is the practicing of dropping memory when not needed, dropping imagination. You, as the Supreme Self, has already dreamed the cosmos alive. All is already here and present and able to be directly experienced as ourselves and sharing with each other. Feel what appears to be a body buzzing with life and the regeneration of cosmic participation. You are a being, beautifully aware, appearing embodied, but really your body is the cosmos. And this is a sail of the cosmos. You can practice this when you go to sleep, just dropping away from memory. But it's of value to drop memory and imagination throughout your day. Just a few seconds. Just stop for a few seconds. Drop memory, imagination. So that you don't put the mind on automatic to keep remembering what you have no need to remember, other than remembering what you deeply are. See how full this is. Fullness, depth, brightness. And see how the mind is open beyond limitation. And the heart doesn't exist as limitation at all. The heart is the living divinity. So I'm suggesting the more that you practice this in your daily ritual, which is what it is, of life, blessing life with the ritual of remembering what you are, being what you are, shining what you are. Then it's not that you're in the flow. You are the flow. Unimpeded by memory. Unimpeded by the veil. You are the cosmos knowing itself, the self knowing itself. Us, we, I, me, you. No veiled information. Light traveling as love for and to each other as that same love. And then maybe you can see, feel, and know the appearance is transfiguring in the knowing that you're knowing aware. Memory just keeps downloading the circle of Maya. Being simply flows with the light of infinite eternity, possibility. Now, can you feel that? Now your hands are the movement of light, the giving of light, the receiving of light. Your body is the movement, giving, receiving of light. You and I we know no distance in this. Have memory and there is distance. Formed or no form, there is no distance between us.